Xbox CEO Asha Sharma sounds like she's already backing off her freshly announced console exclusivity plans, according to recent comments on Fortune Conversations. Welcome to Inside Games Daily, the only gaming news show brave enough to have enjoyed it while it lasted, maybe for about 3 days there.
Yeah, 2 whole games. Boy, the console wars are back, and now they're gone. But at least we have a lot to report on. You know, it's a nice change of pace. I love it when executives get in the trenches and start saying things. For this particular quote, IGN grabbed it from an interview with Fortune, in which Sharma added another nebulous condition to Xbox's future console exclusivity.
Yeah, after describing the restoration of the Xbox brand as a journey, Sharma said, "Our business isn't particularly healthy, as you noted, and so we're starting by introducing 1 to 2 signature exclusives, and as the business is healthy, we will look to try to do more."
All right. This is yet another confusing condition to put onto Xbox's reintroduction of console exclusivity. Oh, by the way, console and PC exclusivity.
Yeah, that's one of many things that is a little odd about this. Despite announcing Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution as, air quotes, console exclusives, Xbox had to reiterate these are still coming to PC, so it's a confusing phrase to use in the first place. That whole thing was also further confused by repeated spottings of Gears of War E-Day with PlayStation 5 logos and branding around the internet, which kind of implied that this exclusive decision was made quickly and hastily.
We put more thought into going to war with Iran than they put into this exclusivity deal. Xbox Games Marketing VP Aaron Greenberg contradicted the idea on X, saying that he was, quote, made aware of these exclusives roughly a month in advance.
The VP of Marketing being made aware of dropping an entire platform 1 month before announcement. That sounds last minute to us, I'll be honest. Aaron Greenberg has been there for a long time, and he's usually on top of things. It's not his fault. So it sounds like they just kind of told him.
Yeah, moving fast. I guess on one level, you can appreciate the ability to move quickly, but yeah, that still seems pretty quick. There's also, just in terms of this whole initiative being a little confusing, we reported on this before, but also Xbox content officer Matt Booty attempted to lay out Xbox's exclusivity strategy in an interview with Gamertag Radio, saying that, kind of like PlayStation, that multiplayer and service games would continue to ship on PlayStation, but that single-player games would be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. So that's already a little fuzzy, and that already contradicts the fact that Gears of War E-Day is a multiplayer service game. So the very first one is already kind of violating their stated strategy.
And now Sharma is stating that any future exclusives won't happen until the Xbox business is in a healthier state, which is when? Never? Right around the time that Rooster Teeth starts making money again, I guess.
Man, that's a deep cut. I like that, Brian. So this feels like deja vu, like Groundhog Day. Like we're reporting on the same thing over and over and over because they keep refining these statements. Sharma also provided a conspicuous answer to an intriguing question, asking what Xbox has to consider now that the brand wouldn't have had to consider 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. Windows Central grabbed this particular quote, in which Sharma started by disclosing that she wasn't there 5 years ago, so she can only guess. So that's kind of nice. But then she makes some ominous predictions for the future of the business, and this is sort of in context of the AI boom and how expensive hardware is becoming. She said, quote, "We've reached a point where it will be hard to imagine that mass audiences can afford thousands of dollars to spend on a console generation. So I think we will start to see radically different business models that we never expected start to come into orbit later this year."
Yeah, but like, who knows what those radically different business models might look like? Ideally, as Sharma's implying, they open up opportunities for folks that don't have loads of disposable income to still enter the console PC gaming ecosystem. So that would be good if that happens.
Are we talking about like renting a console or something?
Ooh,
is that where, like a
yeah, maybe like a rent to own?
Yeah.
Xbox has done that a couple of times.
Okay.
I think,
right.
Yeah, they did there was like a thing where if you signed up, like you could get an Xbox and you had to pay like $30 a month, but it came with like a year obligation for Xbox Live or something, kind of like a cell phone plan, really.
Yeah.
So, but that's already happened. That business model's out there and it's been tried. She's referring to something that doesn't exist yet, which is interesting to think about. But when it comes to corpse, like a little scary too.
You can rooms to go your Xbox.
Yeah. I think rooms to go was doing it.
One parting shot here. Sharma seems unconvinced that Xbox's $68.7 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard was a sound investment.
Yeah, this is a different economic conference. This is Bloomberg Tech 2026 with game developer grabbing the quote here. Sharma praised all the brands under the Activision Blizzard umbrella, but stopped short of affirming the value of the acquisition in total.
Yeah, she said, I love Activision Blizzard King. That's something you say when you don't love, whatever, but just editorialize it. She goes on to say, look, it was bought at a time before ChatGPT. I don't know what that means. It was bought at a time when our strategy was predominantly on the core consoles. It was at a time when we were right in the middle of COVID, so it's hard to say how to think about those decisions, but I think these are incredible assets and we continue to invest in them. Translation, I hate Activision Blizzard King. We paid way too much money on them and now we're fucked.
Yeah, we got it now, so that's the case. I don't know. With how much they've been saying about this brand new direction for Xbox, it really is a clinic on how to talk like an executive. So I do like that. Like, look, we've got them. They're great and all. I won't really comment on the decision making in the past, but here we are. So we're gonna keep going. Another thing that I thought was kind of interesting is this is the first time anyone. I mean, so she said people can't afford to spend thousands of dollars on a new console generation. She could be talking about buying multiple consoles, you know, an Xbox and a PlayStation together is thousands of dollars. Or we could already be hearing that Helix is projected to be over $1,999, which, I mean, if they were really gunning for a supercomputer that could do it all, I could see at this point, they're looking at their costs just shooting up and up and up, which both necessitates exploring different options and exploring different financing plans. There was even a comment about how they're going to have to get creative with storage because they can't afford as much. So they're going to have to use tech to make games smaller, but also give consumers more storage options, which means not paying for it to be in the box and letting people buy expansions on their own. So yes, it's all very fuzzy messaging. I do appreciate how quote unquote transparent she's being about the state they're in and the conversations they're having. But I think the thing for me that keeps getting me is they talk as though they have this bold, decisive vision for the future of Xbox, but every time they say something, it's just a little bit different, and it's also seemingly wrapped around specifically whatever will be the most advantageous thing to say in that moment. And that's what bugs me, because that's not a vision, that's just grasping for whatever the most valuable thing is at that exact moment. It also makes me think that that's why they chose these two games. There were compelling business reasons. The Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution were the least damaging games to make exclusives. And instead of being this bold new vision of exclusivity, it's instead, if we do this now and use the phrase console exclusive, even though that's not really what it means, we'll win the most internet points. Like, we'll get the most favor back. And that's really what it's all about. It's about saying the low-cost thing right now to energize people, which is fine. I like that too. But yeah, to describe it as this consistent vision, it's really not. To me, it's the difference between strategy and tactics, getting into kind of like executive thinking here. Strategy is like, what's the grand idea of where I want to go? Tactics is how am I actually going to get there? Like, what are the nuts and bolts, the day-to-day decisions? They theoretically have a strategy, I think. The strategy is just to get back to making money. And then the tactics they describe seem to shift on a day-to-day basis from like, we're going to do exclusives to reward our partners and reward the core that is invested in our brand. They said that a week ago. And now Asha Sharma's like, well, once we're making a lot of money, then we might do another exclusive once we can afford it. So it's not about that, is it? No, it's not. It's about what games are inexpensive to make exclusive and also gain you the most rep with your audience. So that's really the strategy, and that's going to shift quarter by quarter. So we really have no consistent vision to buy into. But maybe I'm misreading all of this, and I kind of want to. I hope that I'm wrong about all this, but right now it really does feel like a bunch of hasty decision making to both give this impression of momentum, of new movement and new activity. But man, when the rubber meets the road, I think we're just going to get a bunch of piecemeal decisions that all make sense at that exact moment in time, and then the executives will come out and talk as though this is some consistent, boldly strategic move, which is fine. You know, we're used to that. I've 30 years of that. That's just what businesses do. But one last point I want to make. For some reason, everyone soured on Phil. I think just because he stopped doing what Sharma's doing now, which is throwing candy to the audience and saying, "Who loves Halo?" and letting everybody cheer. But his vision for Game Pass was clear and consistent. He said it every time from day one. Game Pass is all about getting every game on day one. Early access kind of muddied that, but every game on day one, or every game on day one, consistent experience across devices, and every Xbox Studios game. And that was the case. Now it's not Call of Duty. Now it's like, it's just gotten all busted up and chopped up because of the business demands. So just to go back to that though, love him or hate him, Spencer at least elocuted a clear strategy and stuck to it for 7-8 years. So I appreciate that a little bit more than I appreciate this sort of like, yeah, turning the dial and seeing who's cheering in the audience and then turning it more. It's kind of what it feels like.
Make no mistake, I think exactly the way Lawrence does here. I really do. I'm just going to play the opposite side because I've noticed the internet doing this, which everyone is really optimistic about Xbox. They're really excited about Ashish Sharma. That price lower for Game Pass, the price lower was really exciting for a lot of people. And the fact that console exclusives, really, all in quotes again, really exciting, right? So people are super pumped about Xbox and Ashish Sharma, which is great. And I'm also, again, allow me to sort of think on the opposite side of this. I'm thinking that this is like the new administration blaming the previous administration. Ashish Sharma is blaming Biden. She's like, oh, that's all Phil Spencer stuff. No, this is brand new. They've only had 100 days to really think about strategy. I think that might be too long, to be fair. I think they probably should have come in with a clear-cut strategy right away. So right now, all of these executives are sort of trying to figure out the strategy, which maybe isn't the best 100 days in. Ashish Sharma, Matt Booty, they're all doing their best to make people excited about Xbox, but also coming up with a new strategy that isn't Phil Spencer. And they, so it's this really honeymoon period that we've got going on. And like I said, I think like Lawrence, I'm very, very skeptical of this whole thing because I'm skeptical of most CEOs and executives, generally speaking, because they're looking to make money off of you. That's about it. But hopefully they do it in the right way. And I really do hope that Xbox turns it around. Every day I turn on my computer to see another Xbox story and I go, damn it. I don't want to see another Xbox story. I want to see that they released Project Helix for $500. That's what I want to see. I want to go buy Project Helix for $500 and say, they did it. Xbox did it. I got myself a cheap console. Everybody wants it. They got a new Halo or whatever campaign involved. I guess a rebooted Halo on it. I'm going to play it. Yay! I'll be really excited. But we're not there yet. Okay? We're not there yet. We're getting there. And I do want to be positive and happy and optimistic with you guys in the comments.
I think you made a good point about incoming presidents, and it reminds me, there's this old story of like there was a new president coming in and he opened his desk and there was a letter from the old president, and the old president said, welcome, the first time you screw up, blame me for everything, it'll work flawlessly, everything will be fine, just blame me and it'll all blow over. The second time you screw up, start writing a letter. So I feel like Ashish Sharma's in the first part of that. She's blaming everything. I think Phil Spencer did have a clear vision. Like it was. I just think the economics didn't work. Like, didn't Sean Layfield say that years ago? Like you would have to have a bazillion Game Pass subscribers to put first party games day and date on the service. I just don't think the economics worked. I think that's why Phil isn't here anymore. I think Ashish Sharma was brought in to try to, I don't know, maybe right the ship economically. This is just me speculating, but this is definitely what it feels like. So we will see. I don't think they're trying to be like the PC / console hybrid company, but if you have a PC and you want to play games, you don't need the Xbox ecosystem. So I just think they're in a weird no man's land, and I don't know how they get out of that.
I think you're dead on about Spencer's legacy. They had clearly projected way more Game Pass subscribers than they got. You can, in retrospect, pin that on a lot of things, but nobody has come up with a better idea of how to make that strategy work, right? They tried everything, including, and the most obvious one is just value. They did the Netflix thing where they intentionally underpriced it for a long time. Of course, everybody knew the prices would go up. But I think, and nobody tried it yet. So it wasn't, I don't think it was a bad swing. It was an attempt to introduce a platform that didn't quite hit the success metrics that they were hoping for. And yeah, you can reverse and just like laugh at the failure. But if you can't identify anything they actually did wrong along the way, I mean, I guess the biggest one that everyone likes laughing at is they just didn't ship any. They did not ship the most popular game in the world. Whoops. Like, that's an easy thing to do, to just choose to make have a new GTA. They tried. Really, Starfield, I think, was their huge bet. They acquired Bethesda. They locked down exclusivity for Bethesda's next big sci-fi RP. That should have been it. And everything about the math said that worked out. But that's games, man. You never know. You have no idea the whims of the audience, the chemistry of an individual team, the ability to execute on a vision over the course of 7 to 8 years of games production. Also, maybe there's a factor there where you acquire a studio and they get kind of fat off that money, and maybe they lose a little bit of hunger there too. So who knows? A lot of things that you could dissect in reverse, but really I found even back then and still now, I never found any fault with the strategy or the attempt, because I really think they tried everything they could, and it just didn't work out. So now we try something else. But what is that else? That's the thing I'm waiting to see. It really just seems like we're going to just try to make money. We're gonna find the shortest path to money and audience growth and follow it every time we find it. But I don't think that's gonna work. Because everyone else is trying that too.
Yeah, I think Project Helix is their biggest bet here. I think that's it. I really do. Like you said, Brian, the no man's land. Project Helix is the no man's land. It's Xbox and PC, and if this thing doesn't sell, that's it. It's going to be it for Xbox, I think. Thank you very much for watching Inside Games Daily. Defend your favorite console to the death. And unfortunately, we're using that phrase "to the death" because it maybe they will die. We're not sure. Shout outs to our brave internet warriors that keep us fueled for battle on the Patreon as well. Lawrence posts all of our content there for free, as well as memes. Many Lawrence memes. If you ever watch Lawrence's stream, it's full of memes, and I love it. So you got to go check out the Patreon for those memes. Sherwin Sanchez, Chilled Monkey Brains, and Aparo Dodaro have been supporting us on the Patreon, and they love the memes. They told me so. They didn't tell me.